Hello again. This is Sherry, and losing my voice a little bit. Not sure why. Might just have a little bit of. I don't think it's laryngitis. Anyway, I don't really care. I just may sound. No, not that any. Okay, whatever. I'm starting right now. The video starts right now. Okay, so here's my situation here in my bedroom, which is also my bedroom home office, and where I store my possessions. And even though there's a room adjacent to me with a lot of spare room to store a stack of boxes, I keep them all in here with me. Um, so the room is a little cluttered. And I've heard from people who come to visit me that it smells pretty good in here. And they think it smells pretty good. And I use a lavender air spray sometimes, or I might even burn a candle sometimes, or what's the other one? I should probably burn some sage in here. But yeah, when people come to see me and they come back to my room, I've heard them tell me that there's no unusual smell here. It's that the room smells fine. So that was one thing that I didn't have any desire to talk about. Let's see. So tonight, what I'm trying, you might notice in my videos that they're all filmed in one day, and then I'm posting them um, as I schedule them at certain times. Um, so these are what you call pre-recorded live videos. And what I was saying was these are what you call pre-recorded live videos, because it is live video. And I'm not going to make it available on the internet until after I have stopped the camera. So anyway, well, I'm getting some questions from the audience, and their instruction is always to have to sit behind me in their seats, which are I can't really describe how they look, but if you just think of how a concert is laid out, it's not a concert, of course. And then you might think of this is the green room. The green room. It's not. The walls aren't painted green, and then there would be a two-way mirror in front of me, which I can't see through. So I think some of the people in the green room are not in their seats, and I might ask one of my little. Well, this part isn't actually real, but I have an usher that can assist them to their seat, or even to leave the green room. It'd be great. So what was I going to talk about? Basically, I just wanted to get on my camera and make a legitimate, a real, like I'm consenting to myself to be filmed by myself, and so I don't have to sign anything after the film is complete. It's not a film, actually. It's just a camcorder, and it's torn up and doesn't even have a case on it. It's hooked to a plate holder with a clip that you laundry clip. What do they? It's not a paper clip. It's a. It's not. It's not the key to my Acura. It's not the title of my Acura, but it's a clothespin. It's a clothespin. Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, it's a clothespin. So anyway, I can hear the sound of the ocean outside my door, and that's a nice sound. I hear the water. Might just be like a little waterfall. I'm not sure. It's a pretty sound though. It's pretty. I like it. And so let's see. I'm just gonna do some of the stuff that I do and just keep the camera on for no really good reason. I guess my main reason is that I would really like to take a shower, but when I have so many people who are with me, in spirit and everything, I don't really feel like getting into a shower unless I would have like a swimsuit. And even then, like you would at the pool, even then, in a girls' locker room, which only had girls in it, even then, taking a shower in this environment of the overwatching is uncomfortable because you don't want to have to take a shower with other people talking with you. And the shower speaker, they have the speakers in the shower, and people are using them to communicate, of course. And I don't understand why they want to expose themselves to the other people in their closed circuit. I think that's unusual. Exhibitionism, even leaving the curtains open in the bathroom or in the living room while walking around, as if the closed circuit cameras weren't enough. So to open that other um, curtain to the outside of the house, and to just not even, not even wear the clothing, it's almost like you were in the Garden of Eden, but you chose not to even put a fig leaf on. And so that was very offensive to everyone who was respecting other people's privacy, and wanting privacy for themselves while we wait for professionals to untangle what I call the disco ball of surveillance cameras. People are using the drones. People are using satellite imagery. And that's a big deal. I'll cover that later, but it's a topic in and of itself. A certain style. It's not a style. It's actually shouldn't even be out in the public, but the satellite imagery, the hidden webcam imagery, the breaking into somebody else's account or bank account, falsifying documents, that identity theft, not just a regular identity theft, but an identity theft that involves an actual kidnapping with a ransom attached. So if someone kidnapped your child and it was you, who would pay the ransom? Thought experiment. Um, anyway, so I'm trying to work. I've got ADD or ADHD or something like that, and I don't give a shit. It's not like I wear it with a badge saying I'm cool because I have ADD. I don't think anybody else does think that way either, but I decided to throw that in. And for some reason, somebody's distracting me, even though I've been successfully on the same medication for over 10 years. I think there might be a little bit of a weirdness involved. A sort of a why, okay, in a regular healthcare surveillance, as I would be in, they don't actually film you in your bedroom. That's not the data that they need. They check your vital signs. They check your blood. They do the CBC. They do the C panel. They do a lot of testing on the blood work, and they monitor how others in the environment are behaving and how their circumstances. But it's more statistical. You're not scouting. You're not just sitting there, parked or camping, watching a patient. You're collecting data, and you have to actually see patients during the day or do your job that might be in research. So you don't have time to sit and monitor a surveillance monitor that with camera, like a church cam might have time to do. And they don't do that. With healthcare surveillance, is a statistics data-based system. So even though someone may be watching watching the doctor who collects the data that goes through very strict DEA, everything's very, very strict. And they may be watching the patient and the doctor, and for some reason, who knows? Maybe it's a fetish, or maybe it's a crime. It's crime. It is a crime to break into medical records, which are being held for ransom. Now, the medical records that are being held for ransom, possibly in my case, but there isn't a monetary ransom available. It's not about money with this one. It's just about wanting to be with the person who doesn't want to be with you. So even if you paid, which you already are paying the way of the person, it's a really weird situation. Like the financial part of it is based on money that came into my account in 2016. So I was online, of course, doing a little audit of my bank account, not everyone in the bank, just mine. And I noticed that there was a sum of approximately $300 missing out of almost every check that I received in direct deposit in the bank in 2016. And I was like, well, that's weird because that looks like the amount of the reoccurring student loan that I've been paying, that I've paid back now 3 times. And that the there is that amount missing from 2016, even though the bank has verified that their records reflect that I received what I actually received. So apparently there's a fake bank or something. It might even be called a fake Bank of America. Who knows? Who knows at this point? It may just be somebody's QuickBooks. Like that's not artificial intelligence. Or it may be possibly an annuity that doesn't really exist, but is overwatched and makes no money, but just kind of flips the finances, so it looks like that each year, this person's making that amount of income, when actually it's just my income that was already spent on food, medical care, co-pays, transportation, uh, various different programs for my computer, legal licensed programs, fixing programs. Let's see, having to buy the same operating system over and over again. Um, hmm. So those would be categories of spending. If you receive a statement for non-sufficient funds at your bank and it's labeled for food, the bank might be on to something. And even knowing the bank knows, someone still might want that attention. So what we're doing is we're easing that person into the spotlight that they really crave, that they crave to experience with someone else, which is why they literally have to. There's a term I've heard people say, to hold people hostage. This would be an actual hostage situation, so that's not really like holding them hostage in a conversation, but a person, let's say a person can't get the attention they want, and they don't realize that there is a problem with people wanting to interact with them. So we start there. So they are already, even knowing those people don't want to interact with them, they're already forcing themselves on those people. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. People who aren't allowed to leave those people, and because they have a lot of dependencies and like service. Some services are dependent on other services. So if you stop a service, all depending services would also be impacted. That's a little bit of a philosophy and a little bit of computer technology information right there, like a microservice or a regular service. Or let's say I know what I'm doing with the computer science issues, but let's say that others who are creating them have no clue, and that I'm foreseeing even more problems due to systems failure. I'm talking on a wide scale. And I think that there are other people who work in technology who know this, are very well aware of it. And in that knowledge, we are all being, basically harassed all the freaking time. The computer technology, even for guys, okay, this is going to be like both sexes. If you're working in the computer industry, let's just call it the computer industry, not going to get too specific, chances are you've had at least 50 to 60 to 70 to 100 death threats already from your peers. Let that sink in.